So you've got a nice volunteer and you've given them this task, which is they have to decide whether or not to shoot somebody under the following circumstance. They have a fraction of a second to look at the person and to decide if the thing in that person's hand is a cell phone or a handgun. We know exactly the relevance of this to the real world. And it turns out all sorts of things modulate people's ability to decide what it is they're seeing in a fraction of a second. Are you hungry? Are you tired? Are you scared? Are you stressed? Are you in an environment you consider to be dangerous or benevolent? Is it nighttime? Is it daytime? And as we know tragically, what's this person's skin color? Are they a young male? All of that stuff. And it shows that your brain in a fraction of a second will make different decisions as to whether or not that's a handgun based on this stuff that's been going on in the previous hour, exactly as you say. What we also know is, say, if that person, if they're male, if their testosterone levels had been elevated over the previous 24 hours, part of the brain would be functioning differently, part of the brain called the amygdala. And what happens is you look at somebody with a neutral facial expression, and you're more likely than average to decide that instead they look threatening. So you're that much more likely to decide it's a handgun and pull a trigger. And if you went through trauma, combat trauma a decade ago and had PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, your amygdala would have grown bigger and been more reactive and been more likely to send a signal to pull the trigger before you had the chance to say, wait a second, let's look a second time and see if that really is a handgun. It's a cell phone. All of this from 1 second ago to how much stress hormones you were exposed to when you were a fetus, going into that moment as to whether or not you're going to make a totally tragic decision in a fraction of a second.